Making my way up the towering spiral staircase, I crept into the bedroom Dom had been sleeping in. Still no sign of him anywhere, but what I did find was his notebook, lying on the counter as if someone had gently set it down and walked away. The cover was slightly warped with moisture, and the final pages were smudged, as though written in shaking hands. Before I opened it, I searched the rest of the house, hoping to find Dom asleep or sick. I checked every bedroom, every hallway, every bathroom, the attic, the basement, but the mansion was silent. Only when I stepped out the back door did I find something that broke the emptiness. A set of footprints leading away from the porch, cutting a path through the untouched snow. The steps were irregular, some deep and forceful, others light and scattered, like the person walking had been disoriented or barely able to stand. I followed the tracks for several hundred yards before it finally came into view, a mound of snow shaped unmistakably like a body. Dominic was lying there, buried, unbreathing, frozen upright as though he had been desperately trying to continue walking even while succumbing to the cold. There was nothing more I could do for him. He must have frozen to death within just a few hours. I had to drive back into town to inform the authorities, but before leaving, I wanted to take a peek at his notebook to see if there was anything I could glean about why he tried to run away in the middle of a snowstorm. It wasn't until I read it that I learned the full story. And honestly, part of me wishes I hadn't. I could tell you the story, but honestly, I think it's better to let the journal entries speak for themselves. Here are Dominic's own words, exactly as he wrote them.
December 10th. I got here yesterday morning, and at first, everything felt exactly like I expected it to. Quiet, empty, buried in snow. The mansion has this lonely postcard charm to it, the kind of silence that makes you feel like you're being given a clean slate. The place has no cell service at all, so I'm completely cut off from the outside world. Something about the mountains blocking the signal. The first night went smoothly, aside from some clattering in the kitchen. Old house noises, I figured. Pipes or the wind. But this morning when I walked into the kitchen, I saw a man I had never seen before, standing at the counter, tall, dark-skinned, and wearing a full white chef's outfit, coat, apron, tall hat. He smiled at me like he'd been expecting me, and said breakfast would be ready soon. He introduced himself as Chef Marlin, speaking in a calm, almost old-fashioned way that felt like a relic of the past. When I asked why no one told me he'd be here, all he said was,
"I've always been here."